We have driver of the 20 car for Venturini Motorsports in the ARCA series, Lawless Alan, calling on to the show. Thanks for joining the show, Lawless. Last spoke to you yeah, of course. Last spoke to you in Daytona during the January practice. You mentioned the speed of the 20 car. Daytona doesn't go your way, but you rebound in Phoenix with a P4 finish. And of course, 3 weekends ago, you get your win in Talladega. Congratulations on your first ARCA win. First, how has been the switch to Venturini, and how big was that win in Dega for you?
The switch to Venturini has been a night and day difference from the places I've been before. Just the guys are so awesome there. Kevin Reed Jr. has been great on the box and great as a mentor, helping me out on the sim. And they're very, very good at identifying bad habits, of which I unfortunately have plenty of. So it's been really good to be able to kind of isolate those and help fix them. And then, to win at Talladega, I feel like we were the car that deserved to win it at Daytona, but to win at Talladega and get the first win off my back, finally, just it felt amazing. And now the only issue with that is after this past weekend not winning at Kansas, it sucks, and all I want to do is win. So I got used to what not winning was like, and now I want back to what winning is.
Gotcha. I really appreciate the honesty on that, and it sounds like you're really in a good spot. Kind of going back to Talladega, you guys seem to unload with a lot of speed, qualifying second. What was your mindset once the checker flag dropped?
My mindset was, holy crap, I just won that race. Like, finally. It was pure joy, really. There wasn't much else to experience. I think it was just relief and joy and an unloading of pressure, and one of the best feelings that I've had, certainly in the last in the last while. It was all worth it.
Thank you for going over your emotions after the big win. In Daytona, Phoenix, and Talladega, the qualifying sessions would all get rained out. Kansas is the first qualifying session that they do hold, and you win the pole. How are you feeling with that performance?
The Venturini cars always have speed in qualifying. There's no doubt about that, and having the faith in my guys and faith in the car, and Mike Skinner kind of ripping the whip on me ahead of qualifying really helped me lay it all out there. And it was a sketchy session, so it was good to come away with the pole, and my hands were shaking afterwards. So I feel like I did my job.
Gotcha. Appreciate you touching on that. Turning to the race Friday night, the mile and a half of Kansas. You lead laps early. That late yellow puts the race into overtime. You restart on the second row and come home with a fourth place finish. How were you feeling going into the overtime, and what did you need more from that car to get up front?
Well, we ran the entire race pretty much, minus the couple laps that I led. Ran pretty much the entire race in third. We kept restarting in third, pushing really well on the bottom. Would get clear for second, and then the 18 would get by me a lap or two later. The final restart, I was excited. I was hoping for another chance to try to steal the win or steal second. Unfortunately, I didn't do any of the stealing, but my third got stolen from me by my teammate. So it is what it is. Ultimately, I didn't need that last caution, but I was, every time there was a caution, I was hopeful that this time might be the time that I can steal it. So we just needed a little bit more short run speed. In my auto charger Camry, we just needed that little bit that the 18 and the 28 had, because I feel like our restarts were really good. And if I was just able to roll that speed for one or two laps more, I could have maybe I could have maybe stolen a win. The 28 was kind of in his own zip code, but there's been plenty of times where the fastest car hasn't won the race, so I was hoping that would be one of those times.
Gotcha. Is there any getting used to, because with ARCA, it's just the restart line and not the zone? Was there any learning curve with that?
A little bit, but it just makes it easier, I think, because the trucks, you have the restart box, so the leader can go whenever he wants, so it's harder to time. But in ARCA, you can consistently bet that the leader is going to go a car length and a half before the white line, and you can get a good jump according to that, because the worst case is that they have to wait one car length later, and if they don't take off by the time you hit the line, then it's fair game. So I feel like the restart rule makes it easier to time restarts.
Okay, cool. Thank you for touching on that. Last question. After the 1.5 miles of Kansas in 2 weekends, you go to another 1.5 miles of Charlotte. What are you doing to prepare, and how are you feeling looking towards that race?
I feel good going into that race. I'm coming back home from our competition meeting at Venturini about Kansas, and I feel like we all know the direction that we need to go in order to have our qualifying speed translate to the race a little bit more. I'm preparing by talking with my crew chief, going to have sim later this week, going to be watching video and doing some iRacing, and just thinking, living, eating, breathing, racing for that time. Just thinking about air is going to be the big thing. We kind of have the speed we have, but how you manage the air can propel you forward or hold you back. So just being as best prepared as I can be, so that the auto-charged Venturini Camry that they bring is going to be fast, and so that I'll be fast too.
Cool. I appreciate you going over that. It sounds like the little details, like you mentioned, that Venturini is expressing upon is really starting to pay off for you.
Yeah, no doubt. And when you're with an organization like Venturini that's pedigrees on winning, their only goal is to win, it elevates it. Everybody elevates each other, because you're only there if you want to win. So you're doing the little things that it's required, and your team sees you doing that, so they do it, and then you see the team doing it, so you do it, and it lifts everybody up. It's just kind of a different mindset, a different culture, to when everybody's pushing in the same direction, doing absolutely everything they can.
Awesome. Really appreciate you breaking down everything, and thanks so much for joining the show. Best of luck in a couple weekends, and hope you have you on the show before the end of the season.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Lawless.